Donald Trump is about to launch the biggest crypto project of the year, and it's called World Liberty Financial. But unlike the Trump meme coin, this project will have real utility and could easily become a top 10 project by the end of the year. Since the WLFI token hasn't launched yet, you can still get in early. Today, I'll cover what the World Liberty project is, how you can buy the token pre-market before it goes live, and the altcoins that are closely related to it that I expect to pump given the hype increasing on World Liberty itself. So what is the World Liberty Financial Project? At its core, World Liberty aims to push the adoption of the USD1 stablecoin. You might have heard of this over the past few months. Currently, USD1 is the fifth largest stablecoin by market cap, trading at 2.2 billion in supply, just behind MakerDAO's DAI. This project was first announced in September 2024, which was rumored to be backed by the Trump family. And over the past year, this has been completely confirmed. Today, Donald Trump himself is listed as an honorary founder on the project's website, and he constantly tweets about their updates. Also, the three sons of Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and Barron Trump are all listed here as well. And they have always given constant updates whenever World Liberty makes an announcement. You can check all the details on the World Liberty website yourself. It's nothing really fundamentally different. It's a stablecoin that's heavily regulated in the US following the passing of the Genius stablecoin bill. So each USD1 is backed by treasuries and real US dollars. This USD1 is supposed to be very neutral across all the exchanges, all the different blockchains. The stablecoin also has a very strong DeFi background. It will trade on all the decentralized exchanges, and they even have their own lending and borrowing platform and their mobile app that they want to offer as a retail onboarding into the stablecoin. Now, that's all the fundamental jargon I want to give you guys. So at its core, we have to ask, why is the Trump family doing this? Why are they creating a stablecoin project out of all the things? This all relates to the issue that the US government is currently facing with the lack of buyers for US treasuries, and how it ties into the Genius Act, which was just passed, that will facilitate US treasury and US cash-backed stablecoins to be fully regulated and fully tradable across the US. For example, the issuer of USDT Tether is one of the largest treasury buyers in the world right now, ahead of many large countries. By introducing their own version of a stablecoin that's heavily backed and fully regulated in the US, the Trump family essentially can start doing deals across institutions, across national level, where they can onboard new treasury buyers to help finance their debt from the US government. And in exchange, these will get minted on chain as a stablecoin. And there can be other side deals being done, such as deals for investing into World Liberty, investing into other related companies for extra returns. The most clear example here is how they have launched the first iteration of USD1 alongside Binance. Out of all of the 2.1 billion supply of USD1 right now, 2 billion of that lives on the BNB chain. And you see all of this was minted essentially overnight, over 3 days. And this was done not through retail participation, but through a private deal. Some of you guys might remember this news headline. From March, Binance took in their first ever institutional investors, which are the Abu Dhabi state-backed MGX fund. And they invested a total of $2 billion into the company for equity. Now, Binance is super cash heavy. They never take investments because they want to keep all the profits of the exchange for themselves. The reason why they did this then became clear 2 months later when it was revealed that Trump's stablecoin project was chosen as this $2 billion investment as payment. So when the Abu Dhabi investment fund invested into Binance, that $2 billion didn't go as cash into Binance's company account. Instead, it was minted as the USD1 stablecoin. It lives on the Binance blockchain. And now Trump's USD1 stablecoin has a $2 billion market cap, and it's now the fifth largest stablecoin just overnight. So these are the kind of things that the World Liberty and USD1 project enables the Trump family to do. Depending on how you see this, you might think this is very heavily centralized. It is, but so are many other stablecoins. Do you think really there is $163 billion of Tether that's minted by retail? Of course not. There are billions and billions minted over months and months, and most of that is by centralized exchanges and institutional investors. So this is just another vehicle for the Trump family to do the same, but all of that money that's coming in will be added to the demand for US treasuries, which is their biggest problem right now. So at its core, this is why I think the USD1 stablecoin will grow by market cap by a lot over this next year. It's because the US government will need all the treasury buyers they can have. So whoever is interested in buying treasuries and in exchange for some crypto side deals, they will use this vehicle to do so. And when you think about the size of the treasury market, that's a multi-trillion-dollar market, whereas the stablecoin market cap is the largest one today, is $163 billion of Tether. All it takes is 2-3 other deals for USD1 to push all the way to the third largest stablecoin. And that's not a big ask at all coming from the president himself. This is why I tweeted this a couple of days ago. WLFI is the single biggest play this cycle. It's not even close. I truly believe this coin will be a top 10 coin and potentially over 100 billion in market cap sometime end of this year or early next year. Let's get into the WLFI token then. How does it relate to the USD1 stablecoin? Well, of course, it's the governance token for the USD1 project itself. They can vote on decisions. There's potentially staking rewards related to the adoption of USD1. But ultimately, I see this as the official Trump DeFi project. Just like the Trump meme coin is the official meme coin, the official Trump DeFi project with real utility should be higher market cap than their meme coin. World Liberty did a public ICO starting from last year. The public sale price was 1.5 cents in the first round and then 5 cents in the second round. And these were all sold out by March 2025. These translated to a 1.5 billion and a $5 billion valuation. Now, I told people not to buy into these ICOs last year because back then in the official website, it said that World Liberty Financial has no intrinsic value. Don't expect any value coming out of the team for security law purposes. And these tokens were non-transferable until further notice. But since then, we had the Trump meme coin launch, and we also have had all of these clauses taken out from the website. And recently, the WLFI proposal did pass where they are going to make the token actually tradable sometime in Q4 of this year. Just two weeks ago, they made this announcement that they're targeting 6 to 8 weeks until the full awakening, whatever that means, some sort of tradability, centralized exchange listings, etc. Now, if you look closely, this does correlate to the start of the public sale round, which was the end of September 2025. And the WLFI token itself was minted on Ethereum on September 29th, 2025. So usually there is a 1-year grace period where the tokens that are sold to US investors cannot be transferred, cannot be traded. And that's going to expire in Q4 this year as well, matching that 6 to 8 week timeline. So I suspect the TGE for this coin will be late September, early October-ish. Right now, the token does trade pre-market on the Whales Market website, and this is a way for you to buy the tokens early. It is already trading at 23 cents, which is $23 billion, quite expensive. However, if you agree with me and you believe that this coin should trade at least towards the market cap of the Trump meme coin, which peaked at $70 billion, this is technically still cheap. I will warn you though, this pre-market trading is not so simple that you can just buy the tokens and you get all the tokens. It functions on collateral basis. What that means is nobody really has the tokens tradable yet. They can't even transfer the tokens to you. So these are IOUs that are made between the buyers and the sellers. What that effectively means is when you buy the WLFI tokens here, you put down $100, for example, for 415 tokens at 23 cents price. When the token TGEs, if the seller agrees that the token, they want to sell it to you at this price, they will then give you the tokens, 415 of them, and they get their side of the collateral, which is also $100. However, if the coin launches very high, let's say double the price of 23 or at 46 cents, then the seller probably won't give you the tokens because they can then just go ahead and sell the tokens and make more profits on the market. In this case, you wouldn't get the whole token amount returned to you. Instead, you will only get a maximum of double of your collateral. So in this case, if you had put in initially $100 of USDC, you would then get $200 maximum. This is kind of the returns I'm expecting from this as well. If you are buying pre-market on WLFI through Whales Market or any other centralized exchange, pre-market OTC trading desk, for example, most likely you'll only get around double your money if the coin launches quite high, around a double of the current price. I'm not going to go too deep on this. You can read into the docs for this to see for yourself. But regardless, 2x over a 2-month wait period, that's still quite good returns. Now, I think what's more interesting is the other altcoins that are related to World Liberty itself, which can go up over this next 2 months and potentially outperform the pre-market returns of a WLFI token. I'm going to give you all of these coins from the top to bottom by market cap. So first of all, of course, I think Ethereum will benefit from this a lot. All of the stablecoin supply today is minted across EVM networks. Even when it's BNB chain, technically that's EVM. And the Trump family loves Ethereum. They have always been praising Ethereum heavily. Ethereum is the core of all of these DeFi platforms that we'll cover today. So I think ETH is a no-brainer bet. It's not going to go crazy high, but it should benefit from this event. Then we have BNB coin itself. Of course, given that the current 2 billion supply is mostly all minted on BNB chain, BNB coin should benefit from the launch of WLFI. It also helps that BNB is currently trading at a quite low valuation compared to Bitcoin and compared to rest of the blue chip altcoins. I've covered this on my last 2 live streams comparing BNB to BTC ratio with ETH BTC ratio and SOL BTC ratio XRP, for example, and BNB is undervalued across the board. Also, when you look on the World Liberty website for all the integrations, 18 providers for USD1, these are all either centralized exchanges or BNB chain based. Next, the Trump meme coin itself should get a bid once World Liberty hype starts. Simply put, it's the other Trump family related project, so this should make a comeback. I don't think it'll go anywhere near the previous all-time high, but this should get a bid. Then we have more specific things. So Aave is actually closely powering the World Liberty DeFi backend. Ever since last year, the first proposal made by the World Liberty DAO was to launch an instance of Aave v3 on Ethereum mainnet, and this did pass. So you see here, Aave DAO will receive 20% of the protocol fees generated by the WLFI Aave v3 instance, and the Aave DAO will receive approximately 7% of the total supply of WLFI tokens. This is very clear. The lending and borrowing protocol on World Liberty will for sure support Aave. So by the time World Liberty launches, Aave should get some interesting bids as well. Tron is also interesting here simply because Justin Sun is the single largest institutional buyer / angel investor into World Liberty. He invested $30 million into it. And the USD1 stablecoin today does support the Tron blockchain. So 2 things there of integrations. The other 2 blockchains that can benefit from this. First one is Plume, the RWA layer 1 blockchain. The native stablecoin of Plume, the Plume USD, is backed by USD1. However, a big distinction here is that technically for this integration, it's more of a partnership instead of USD1 moving all their supply onto Plume. So when you look at RWXYZ again, you see that none of the supply of USD1 is heavily on Plume. It's all on BNB, Ethereum, and Tron. The only integration I could find is on the Bridge website on World Liberty. You see that you can bridge USD1 from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain and to Plume. But that's about it. I couldn't find any deeper integration than this. The other layer 1 blockchain that does have a pretty close relationship is Sui. I don't know why, but the World Liberty team and their official X account has been constantly promoting this weird IDO that the Gate Exchange and Sui Foundation are together doing called ICA. This isn't even related to stablecoins at all, but they tweeted about this twice already, and the founders tweeted about this, mainly because this IDO is using USD1 for subscription exclusively, and this is a Sui exclusive IDO project. I don't know, just something to note, but Sui definitely is pretty close with the World Liberty team. Then let me get into the 3 coins that I am currently holding, which I think have the best risk to reward ratio and the clearest relationship to World Liberty itself. The first one is called Blockstreet. This project I have covered a few times already over the last 2 months. This is the main launchpad that aims to bring projects into USD1 and pair their liquidity with USD1 across all the EVM chains. It's founded by one of the advisors to World Liberty, Matthew Morgan, and their coin has been slowly trending up since launch over the last month. Right now, it's at 90 million market cap, 190 million valuation, still not too bad. Because of that advisor relationship that has been officially announced before, and the fact that they have a lot of USD1 paired with liquidity already, this is a clear play in my book. The next one is Dolomite. This is a DeFi project that has been around for 3-4 years already. They first launched on Barrett Chain a couple months ago. The cool thing here is that Corey Kaplan, the creator of Dolomite, is actually the official CTO of World Liberty. You can check this yourself on the team page on World Liberty's website. Corey Kaplan is listed here. Now, Dolomite is another lending and borrowing DeFi market that mainly serves all the EVM chains, and they have pinned that they are going to put USD1 at the forefront of their ecosystem. If you're an on-chain detective, you can also find that the World Liberty multi-sig has interacted with the Dolomite instance on Ethereum already. They have done lending and borrowing directly from the multi-sig, depositing Ethereum and taking out USD1 loans through Dolomite. And they haven't even done this on Aave before. So that's something very interesting. Some people are even saying that Dolomite will be powering the World Liberty lending and borrowing protocol, but nothing has been confirmed yet. Finally, a low cap on the Solana side is this AOL coin, America Online. This first launched as a meme on the Bonk Fund platform. But since then, one of their core advisors is Crypto Ogo, and he is also an official advisor to World Liberty. Important note here, he is not the founder of America Online. He is only an advisor there. But he did start to advise the CTO team of AOL to start pivoting towards a adoption angle for bringing USD1, bringing World Liberty to Solana and make it multi-chain. That's what they have outlined on this strategic roadmap. This coin is still very low cap. It's very high risk. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I hold a very small bag of this. Compared to Blockstreet and Dolomite, I think these two are much safer plays because they are on EVM. They have that official liquidity pools set up and their integrations with USD1 already. So I think these are no-brainer bets as long as people get more and more interested into World Liberty and find out that there isn't any easy way to get exposure right now. Even when you buy pre-market of WLFI, you don't get the full exposure of the upside of these tokens. So more and more people will be forced to buy one of these beta plays. You either stick with one of the large caps and you just buy BNB or Aave, or you have to buy something very specific that is something targeted towards integration and utility for USD1 and for WLFI, and that will be Blockstreet and Dolomite. These are the two clearest ones. So let me bring it back to why we are even talking about this. What's the potential opportunity here? The World Liberty Financial Project is the Trump family official DeFi project and stablecoin project. Even though they did their ICOs at 1.5 billion, 5 billion, and then the pre-market is already trading at 23 billion, I think those are all still undervalued. I have personally bought some WLFI over Whales market as well. And even just as a pure governance token for a DeFi platform that has this level of involvement from the Trump family, that should have a very high market cap. Because just looking at the Trump meme coin itself, yes, it dumped by a lot, but at its peak, it's not even showing here, it was at $73 or $73 billion in market cap. We all underestimated this, to be fair. So I don't want to underestimate the pure meme potential of the pump on WLFI shortly after it launches. And don't forget the other side of the co-founders, Steve Witkoff, Zach Witkoff, and Alex Witkoff. If you don't know, Stephen Witkoff is the special envoy of the US in the Middle East. So this is another sign that goes to show that they're going to do a lot more institutional deals to bring money into the treasury market to be buyers of treasuries, and in return, these will be minted on USD1 to boost the supply of USD1. For sure, whatever they can do to help the treasury market, they will do. And the gap between the treasury market and the crypto stablecoin market is so big that it takes no effort to bring USD1 supply up by a lot. That's why I'm targeting 100 billion in fully diluted valuation, or $1 for the WLFI token, because the total supply is 1 billion. So then it's very simple. We know the launch timeline is around September, October-ish, Q4 this year. We have the pre-market at 23 cents. So in my opinion, this is a pretty easy bet for a 2x on your collateral, given how the pre-market works. If you can find other ways to get your hands on WLFI early, that would be great. I couldn't find any other than this. You can also look at all of the other beta plays to the World Liberty Financial project in terms of who advises the project and their related projects, or official launch pads, official DeFi platforms that World Liberty will be integrating, etc. As more and more people realize that World Liberty is a real project and not just another grift, and the token will become tradable in just a few months, more and more people will look in the same route. They will try to get exposure to it, but realize they're too late. And then they'll look at the beta plays, these altcoins, and thus there will be more and more liquidity and interest going into these over the next 2 months. So that's what I'm aiming to do. I hold Blockstreet, I hold Dolomite, I hold a little bit of AOL, and I hold Ethereum, obviously, and all the other beta plays to WLFI, I think will do well over the next 2 months. That's all we need to care about. We don't need to really wait for WLFI to launch and try to ape in and see if it's a 100 billion valuation or not and try to trade it on the day off. We still have plenty of time. You just have to be patient. You get a position now, you wait till WLFI hype really kicks off, and then you try to take profit sometime around then. Even crypto Twitter degens still haven't caught on to this yet. A lot of people still think WLFI only raised a ton of money but are not ever going to do anything. And those are the same people that will be caught off guard and aping into these much later. So that's why I'm making this video. I wanted to give you guys all of the related things around this project so you have plenty of time to prepare for the next 2 months. That's it for this video. Make sure to follow me on X at VirtualBacon0x for my quickest alpha before I make them into these in-depth videos. I've been posting a lot about WLFI and their related plays like Blockstreet, etc. for a few months already, so you can get those right away on X. And make sure to join our community on the Coiners and my Telegram group, which are all linked in the description. I have posted more in-depth analysis on these plays on there as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.